So if you've heard it before, it's good. But then I'll add in some further details, okay? So the main girl of the story, whose name is Meera. So Meera was a wildlife photographer by passion and a journalist by profession. So, and she was very active in her field. And because she was a journalist, every time she had to keep traveling constantly from place to place, just like, nomads. And like, there were also places which she had seen, which people haven't even ever heard about. So, and she used to constantly be traveling, okay? It was not like she could stay in one place to gather the news, right? So, like, she had the next day, like almost 1 week, she takes a leave and joins back her office again. And they tell her that they have two projects, one which lies within the city, while the other is about a village where she had to go and cover, which was reporting strange activities. But about nothing about that village was even properly known. To be honest, that village did not even exist on the map. So she felt it was weird, but then she wanted to go because if she was staying back and working on the story that was in the city, she had to work with her ex who dumped her exactly 1 week ago. So to avoid that, she thinks, ki, okay, let me just team up with another friend of mine and go visit this strange place. Maybe, it'll just take my mind off. Because Mira was never a proper believer of the paranormal or anything supernatural. So she takes this friend named Seema, and both Mira and Seema go off to this village. And they take a train, and they clearly tell that this place what you have to reach. Once you get down at this particular area, you have to take another local train and reach this place. And then again from that railway station, you have to take a car or any other vehicle and reach the actual village. So they board the train and they realized that the village that these people were talking about was very remote. And the biggest problem here was that even the local train which was going to stop was only about to stop there for a minute or two. So even to unload their luggage and all, they did not have much of a time. So as soon as they reach that local, first they reach the normal station, take the MMTS local train, whatever was available at that moment, reach the village, and once they reach the station, which was around 6:30 during the sunset, they realized that the whole station was empty. There was nobody to be seen around, not even one hawker or anybody who was selling anything on the railway station. The whole platform was empty, the whole railway station was empty. It actually creeped them out, and both Mira and Seema went looking for the exit. But every time they went looking for the exit, they ended up landing on the same platform where they had actually got down. This actually scared them, and they went looking for the ticket collector or the station master, whoever was available at that moment. And while looking for them, they come across this guy who looks close by to their age, probably 25, 26, and he says like, are you guys from that newspaper office? We had to come receive you. So, like, obviously, that guy, he introduces himself as Shaurya, and he says that he was a local and that he was supposed to be their guide for throughout whenever they were going out or something like that. So, like, obviously, Seema looks at him. She just looks at Mira and says, wow, this guy is super hot. Okay, and she says that in English. So, she just Mira thinks it's very awkward because you just don't randomly see a guy and think he, Are, he's hot. You don't tell it to him at least onto his face, right? So she doesn't say anything, and then to cover up her mistake, Seema just says कि अरे गाँव वालों को English कहाँ आती है. So after that, the guy just looks at her and he's like, okay, मैं आपको ले चलता हूँ. He says, and they keep taking their bags, and obviously they are girls, so they can't handle heavy bags. So he volunteers to hold them, and then he just tells her कि you know like Mira thinks ki no, I don't want help, I think I can handle it on my own. But he just sweetly tells her कि कभी कभी किसी और के साथ होने से बोझ हल्का हो जाता है, just let me hold it for you. So like Seema just gives Mira a knowing look कि he's totally hitting on you type. So that time Shauri just looks at her and he tells her in English कि believe me, I have no intentions with on flirting with you, but then what can I say, I am a charmer. So that is when Seema actually realizes कि no bhai, I shouldn't have used the word hot in front of him. But yeah, in this happy cute love story that was seeming to be happening here, there was a dark side coming very soon and none of them had any idea about it. So Shaurya walks with them and they reach the parking where there's this guy, another guy of their age who introduces himself as Raghav. And Raghav had a very, skeptic and mysterious vibe, a very cagey person. And the minute Mira looked at him, she didn't like him, not because of his vibe, but because Mira's ex name was Raghav as well. So, that kind of vibe, and she totally wanted to avoid him at all costs. He just, because the first thing Raghav tells is, like, why are you guys even here? You all shouldn't have come. And then, Shaurya being the charmer, he tries ki, and that's just how he is type. And then finally, they realize there's only one hotel in the whole village. And once they reach the hotel, they relax, chill for 2 days, and in these 2 3 days of their general work, people seem to be connecting with Mira a lot.
Kashti,
Like,
hello, Kashti. I guess your voice wasn't audible for a couple of seconds, or is it
okay,
just me?
is it audible now?
No, no, I think it was just you, bro. It's just your
Okay,
network. We
okay.
could all hear Kashti.
Really sorry, then.
No worries,
No,
no
it's
worries,
totally okay.
no worries.
Yeah, so in this 3 4 days, like Mira starts getting a very special treatment from everybody in the village. It's like as if they were welcoming her with open arms. Everybody was giving her like the most warm vibes, and but at the same time, everybody was ignoring Seema, which she did not like. The only person who actually bothered to talk to Seema was Raghav, and he constantly kept telling her, "Ki you guys shouldn't have come here." But then, Seema starts feeling left out, and Seema and Mira end up having an argument because, and then Mira thinks, ki, obviously she's jealous because I am getting all the attention, and because she isn't getting any. And then, after this argument, Mira overhears a couple of strangers talking about a weird light that is seen in the city. So when she hears about it, she doesn't talk to them, but instead goes to a tea shop where the previous day the people over there were very hospitable for her. So she asks them, "Ki, what is this Roshni everybody keeps talking about?" So the minute she asks that, their behavior from warm turns cold. They start giving her glares and all, and they're like, "Why are you asking about it? Just don't ask us anything. Just put the chai ka glass there and leave." So she felt that it was very weird that how nobody even wanted to talk about it while it was happening as a regular phenomena. So she thinks ki, the only person I can ask right now is Shaurya. And once she asks him, he just says ki, you know what, I won't tell you now, not here. I'll tell it to you when, when there's just the both of us. Let's not discuss it about it now. Don't discuss it with anybody around here. So she says, ki, okay, I'm done for the day. Let's just go back. So once they get into the hotel room, the first thing Shaurya does is lock the door. He closes the windows and then tells her, ki, now that you took this topic, do not take it out in front of everybody. Instead, discuss it only with me and nobody else. Don't even like tell people ki you know about this topic. So after that, she says, ki, you know what, I actually want to know what this is all about. So he says that every day after 12:30, there's this particular light that is seen at the like the town's theater, and it's like an entity that tells them what they are supposed to do. So she just wants to know if it was an entity, why were people so scared? So he tells her, he somehow diverts the topic, and he's like, if you really want to go see, I will take you there today at 12:30. But remember, nobody else is supposed to come with you. Only you are supposed to come. So even she tells ki, okay, I'll come with you. And then at 12 o'clock, Shaurya, as promised, turns up at her doorstep, and he takes her with him. Taking a camera, she follows him, and it's like at that time at 12:30, she actually sees a light. So she thinks maybe it's some kind of industrial light that was there, that was kept in the theater for some effects or something. But then it was like as if it was pulling all the people in the village towards it, like a magnet, because people around her were in a complete trance, and they were holding a candle, and they were walking towards the theater. And as they keep reaching the theater, Shaurya's grip on Mira's hand just keeps getting tighter and tighter. It was like he didn't want to let her go. And once they entered the theater, it was old, empty, and very creepy. Okay, it looked like as if it was some 50 to 60 years old. And then everybody just sits there and waits like as if a show is about to begin. 10 minutes, nothing. 20 minutes, nothing. And almost after 25 minutes later, all of a sudden, one of them whispers, "Wo aa gaya," meaning that he has finally arrived. So she gets very scared, because all of a sudden everybody starts treating like as if some god has come. And then they say ki, we have brought a present for you, an offering in the form of a sacrifice. So she gets scared. She looks at Shaurya and she asks, "What are they talking about?" So he tells her, "Ki, this is like our a most important entity of the town, and we have offered him. We wanted his blessing, so we have offered him a sacrifice." So she asks, "What sacrifice?" He says, "We are about to sacrifice you." That is, they were about to sacrifice Mira. She gets scared and starts running from there. When she keeps running without looking back, and everybody starts chasing her. And almost after she covers like 1.5 kilometer, she realizes that there's a car coming from the opposite direction. And when she looks in the car, it was Raghav and Seema. She immediately takes their help and gets into the car, and they just drive away from that town for as long as possible. And they finally reach the main train station where they had to board the train. Okay, they leave all their belongings, everything there, and meanwhile, Mira explains everything that had happened back there. And then Raghav tells ki, this is why I told you all, you all shouldn't have come here. Anybody who comes here is sacrificed, and uh, that person becomes a part of us forever. So even before he can, so they tell ki, Raghav informs that there's a train within the next 10 minutes. You better board that train and go. Don't talk about this to anybody. Never even mention that this has happened to you. The minute he says, and these people walk a couple of steps, a huge truck from the opposite side comes and crashes Raghav's car. The truck, which was not even there 5 minutes ago. So they get even more creeped out, take the train, and reach their native city back. But what is even more creepy after this is few days later, after this whole incident happens, people found the truck, which was not even there 5 minutes ago. So they get even more creeped out, take the train, and reach their native city back. But what is even more creepy after this is few days later, after this whole incident happens, people found Seema in her own house, and she had committed suicide. No mental illness,
Oh
nothing,
my
but maybe
god.
it was trauma or what it was, we do not know. But she was found dead. Meera just explained all of this to her ex Raghav, and immediately the next day, uh, Raghav calls up Meera to find out why she hasn't been coming to office. So that's when Meera's parents actually inform Raghav ki she's been admitted into the mental asylum because she's gone insane. And even after they tried contacting her or anything, it was of no use, because not only did Mira forget about everything that had happened there, she had gone completely insane. And I have heard this story through my cousin brother, who's actually a friend of Raghav. So that's the story. That's been my time. This is Kashti. Thank you.